Hey everybody, it's Mitch from Outlook. I hope you're doing well. This video is just to give you a brief update about what is coming up at our next 3 Clarities on Sunday nights. We're going to go through a 3-week series called God's Design for Sex. We want students to know that this topic is something that they do not have to be scared to talk about, but in fact, as a follower of Christ, they can actually have strength and confidence in being able to ask difficult questions about this topic. We want this to be a constant conversation that we can have respectfully and honestly, not just as students and sponsors, but ultimately as students and parents. Really quick, I wanted to just plug a book. It's called We Need to Talk by Adam Merce. It's a book discussing how we as parents need to establish safe, secure environments in the home to have a continuous conversation about sex instead of just thinking we can have the talk and then be done. What the sponsors and I are going to be doing over this next series is providing safe, secure environments where we can encourage students to have difficult conversations, but at the same time, we want to challenge students to not just have these conversations with us, but also know that they can have them with you as parents as well. So with that said, I'm just going to be talking a little bit about what we're going to be talking about on the Sunday night. The first week, we're going to talk about Genesis 2, verses 15 through 24, where God puts Adam to sleep, takes a rib from his body, and forms Eve out of that. And then we're going to, as the passage wraps up, we see that God says, this is why a man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife in a permanent, exclusive relationship. And so we're just going to hone in on that. And ultimately, with our discussion, junior hires, we're going to be focusing around the main question of who am I? Who am I as a sexual being, and who am I as a created, beautiful being of purpose in God's eyes? For high school, our conversations and discussions are going to center around why should I believe what Scripture says, what it says? What's the big deal about that? The second passage that we're going to be discussing, and this is going to be week 2, is going to be 1 Corinthians 6, verses 12 through 20, where Paul challenges believers to flee sexual immorality. So I'm going to have a very brief overview of the passage, and then we're going to split into discussion groups where junior hires are going to be challenged with the big question of where do I belong? Where do I belong as a creation made in God's image, especially when it comes to being a sexual being? And then in high school, we're going to be centering our conversations around the question of ultimately, what will you do? Are you going to step up and say, no, I'm going to be different and I will flee sexual immorality? Or are students going to just simply say, I'm going to do what I want to do and you can't stop me? The third week is probably going to be a little different. We're not going to have as many junior hires because that's going to be the Sunday of the junior high fall retreat. So a lot of students may not be attending because they'll be catching up on homework and rest. There will be a bunch of high schoolers, and so we're going to have a panel discussion with Kristen, my wife, Josh Weber, Outlook's worship minister, Paula Hearn, who's one of our elders, and Nick Doss, who's one of our high school sponsors, who are going to be answering questions that students are going to be able to submit throughout this series. This doesn't mean that junior high students aren't welcome. On the contrary, junior high students are welcome to come. We just wanted you to know what's going to be happening for that third week. So at the end of the night on week 3, our prayer is that your student knows that they are created by God with purpose and beauty, and that sex is a beautiful gift given to them that He desires for His glory. We also want your students to know that they are able to have safe, secure conversations with us as sponsors, but more importantly, with you as their parents. So with all of that going on, I am excited for these next 3 weeks. I believe your students are going to be challenged and that they're going to grow. I know that you are going to be supported as parents, and I believe that our students are going to come away knowing that they are safe and that they are secure in addressing difficult conversations with us and with you. If you have concerns or comments or questions and would like to reach out, you're more than welcome to do so. I look forward to those conversations with you. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'm looking forward to these next 3 weeks. Bye.